Ahoy there, and welcome back to Build with the Boys, and I have issue 105 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. It's delayed. Mine turned up late, so I know a lot of you have already had yours nearly a week. Mine turned up late. Mine turned up like 4 days later than everybody else. Don't know why, but it's happened again with the Doll's House. It's my local post. It is what it is. But it's here now, and that's all that matters. In this one, we are continuing the build of the base. So we're not doing actual work on the ship itself yet. We are in 107 and 108. But in 105 and 106, we are continuing work on the base. In this one, we are fitting the speaker to the battery box, and then ultimately the battery box to the base. So very little to do in the next one. In this one, a bit more speakers important, because I mean that's where you're going to get the CQD coming from, and also the SOS. Why is the word dropped out of my head? I'm going to say siren, but it's not siren. Horns? The word's fallen out of my skull. I don't know why, it's been a long week. I know that's not the right word, but for whatever reason, I've gone blank. So that's what we're going to do in this one. We are also going to have our Titanic talk at the end, and on that one we'll be talking about Titanic's newspaper. Rumour has it that Titanic had a newspaper that was printed every day and it was delivered to doors. Is that true? Well, we're going to talk about that at the end. But without further ado, let's get this one open. Let's get the speaker installed. Okay, so let's take a look at what comes with 105. This section here, that's going to be what holds the speaker. This feels like the battery box cover. It is. So this one is. This one is, okay, some of those big bolts, we recognise those. Those from the last ones that hold the feet, and I would imagine that's what's going to hold the battery box to the base. We have some BP screws, and we have some NM screws. They go into metal then. And then we have what should be our speaker. There it is. Very nice. Okay, so let's get this built. Okay, so taking our speaker holder, you can see there's a recess here. And what that recess is going to be for is for the wire. So when you fit your speaker into here, you want it so your wire is on the recess. There you go. So now it can sit flush without pinching or severing the wire. So that is how that's going to go. Nice and simple so far. I don't think this is too in-depth, to be honest with you. I think this is just a case of fitting it in. Okay, so we're going to bring our battery box over and install this. Okay, so holding our speaker, we're going to go that way around with this. And we want it so this wire is tailing out of there. Now we'll turn this, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to line these screw cases up. Do you know what? It's probably easier to, it is easier to do it that way. There we go. There we go. There we go. So that's how you know looking. So your wire's coming out of your recess. That's it. Now we're going to hold these in place with the BP screws. Now these are plastic into plastic, so you don't need 3-in-1 or anything like that. These will just hopefully screw in quite easily. And we're going to put 3 of these in to hold this in place. So let's get the first one in. Quite long screws. So someone in, don't overscrew it, because again this is plastic, you'll just split the plastic, that's all that's going to happen. So let's get the next one in. There we go. So screw number 2 in. You just need to bite and hold. That's it. If you keep screwing it, all you're going to do is crack the thing you're screwing into, and then you're going to have problems. So don't do that. That's that one done. Right. Okay, so we are going to connect up the cables now. So Make sure we're correct. Yep. Connect the cable running from the battery housing to socket A of the circuit board. So that would be this one here is going to go into socket A of the circuit board, and that feels short. Don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but I can already feel that feels short. It is bloody short. Huh. Yeah, mine's short. That's not good. Would you look at that? Mine's, yeah, mine's never going to fit in there. Right, let's have a look what's going on. So we've got it to fit. I don't know if it's the solder job or what, but this is ridiculously tight. It's barely long enough to get that in there, but it's in. That's all I care about. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take the speaker cable, and that's going to go into B. And let's see if they've repeated the exact same thing. No, thankfully. Okay, so we have a lot more room on B. That's good. So B's going to go in here. So we're going to go. It's going to go over the top of these cables, which is fine. So that's B in. Right. So we have the cables. Let's move on. So we brought up our base and bringing our battery box over. We're going to plug these ones into the PCB as well. So we've got D to D, C to C. So let's get those plugged in. That one's that way around. So that goes in there. And then C, which is this one, we'll go this way around. We're going to plug into C. So that's it. That's all the wires complete. Now we're going to screw this to the base. So this is the way around we're going. Now it's only going to fit in one way because of the spacing of these bolts. But we're going to basically bring this one down, find the sweet spots for the holes, turn it over, and then we're going to screw it in. Okay, so there's quite a lot of wire here. So this should all fold into the battery box. If it doesn't, I mean, I'm hoping we can mask that if they don't give us something like I would hope this comes with some sort of felt at some point that we can stick to the bottom of it. If it doesn't, I'm putting some sort of felt on the bottom of it. So we're going to screw this one in using these big old bolts here. Line these ones up. There we go. And in we go. So it's two. I've already put one in. I put one in there just to hold it in place because it wants to jump off the back. If I wasn't filming this, I'd just have this on my lap doing this. But so you can see what I'm doing. That's what we've done. It's number 3. And here goes number 4. There we go. There we go. Find its biting point. There we go. So that's it done. We're going to flip this one over and put the battery lid on. Okay, so that's all done. Now we're going to take our battery lid. It's going to go in there. I'm going to pop that down. Now we use a single NM screw. Now, because I haven't put the batteries in yet, I'm not going to go mad. And don't anyway with tightening this up. All this is to hold it closed. There you go. So that's that done. So that's how we're looking. So that is our base almost done. In the next one, we're going to be installing the name plaque to the front of it, and then our base is complete. That's it. Let's have a chat. So that's that one done. It's simple enough. I don't like the bottom of it. I don't. So unless they're going to give us some kind of, I'd hope so, because this is raw. I'd hope that we're going to get some sort of felt that sticks over here. Particularly with this. I mean, even you push the wires in, they're still going to come back out. So we need something to hold that down. I hope they do. If they don't, they don't. It's a very easy fix. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. I'd like something, I don't know, I mean, for the sake also of our surfaces, we're not just putting a slab of wood down. Who knows? I hope they do. But if they don't, it's a very easy fix. It's an incredibly easy fix. I mean, as modifications goes very easy. Now, there's been quite polarising this stand. Some people really like it. Some people can't stand it. Now, I will say this. When it comes to modification, I build everything stock on the channel for the sake of so everybody can watch it, so it's accessible to all. This would be easy to modify. I mean, all of your electrics go into there, and then the stands at the end. If you wanted to make a wooden one, you could drill it out, and you could have those thrown through it quite easily. It wouldn't be that complicated to do. You could also coat this one with whatever you wanted to. You could easily turn this into a very elegant looking wooden stand. I don't think it would take that much effort, to be honest with you. And if you want advice on how to do that, we got a Facebook group. So there is the Facebook group for modifying this specific Titanic. It's not for any of the other ones. It is for this one. It's for the Agora Hachette Titanic modification group. You can head over there and you can see other people that are modifying the build, and also how they're doing it, and the tips and tricks, and where to get this and where to get that and where to get all these wonderful things that you can modify your model should you want to do that. That's all for the build. So if you just stick around for the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like and subscribe. It helps our channel massively, and we really appreciate your support. For those of you sticking around for our Titanic chat, we are talking about the newspaper that's printed on board the Titanic every day and given to every single passenger. That's not true. So this is one of those things that has got lost in translation over the years. There was this whole thing that every day they printed a newspaper on the Titanic. It was delivered to everybody in first and second class. That's not true. So why does this rumor exist? Because it's kind of true. There's definitely truth in this story. So every day a newspaper was indeed printed, and it was called the Atlantic Daily Bulletin. But it was a sheet of A4, right? It was not a newspaper. It didn't have, the sports section, and it wasn't a newspaper. It was a sheet of A4. That's what it was. And it wasn't delivered to every single cabin. You couldn't go and buy one. That wasn't what this was. It was literally a bulletin on a sheet of paper that was posted to different areas of the ship. So what they would do is it would be on notice boards on different walls around the ship. So you would have, certain entrances or thoroughfares there it would be. Some first-class passengers would have got this delivered to their rooms. They would have had their own copy of it. But again, no one's printed a broadsheet or anything like that. It was here is the news from back home. And what would happen is the Marconi operators would receive the bulletin. And it wasn't just on the board of the Titanic. This was a service that was sent out to lots. And it featured things like sporting results, stocks and shares, any major news that had happened, enough to fit into, one sheet, and this is what's happening back at home. This is before the internet and smartphones and things like that naturally. So this is how it was done. So that they would have that, and it would give you, this is what's happening at the moment. And I've no doubt that you would have had very wealthy men panicking when the stock results went up on the bulletin. So yeah, they probably did get one delivered to their room, but that was it. It was not but for whatever reason, it gets lost in translation. That, oh no, they had a printing press on board. They did have a printing press on board, but again, not a humongous, we weren't printing newspapers here. They were printing, maybe a dozen copies of this thing, and that was it. So there is a print shop on board the Titanic. It's little, but it would have been used mainly for things like menus. If there was a change to a menu or something like that, that's what it was for. But there was a Titanic newspaper as such, but it was not what everyone thinks it was. Because it's why you've never seen one. It's why one's never surfaced anywhere. People have kind of looked for a copy of the Titanic Atlantic Daily Bulletin. It's never been found because they're all at the bottom of the ocean. They would it would have been something somebody would have read, thrown away. So one's never turned up. But that's what it was. So if you ever hear, because it's just one of those common, and everyone got they didn't. It's become lost in translation over the years. And that's exactly what the Titanic's newspaper was. It was also available on the Britannic and the Oceanic. And numerous other ships did this as well. This wasn't something exclusive to Titanic. It was just, this is what's happening back at home. That's all it was. That's all for this one. We will be back very, very, very soon with 106. we'll be fitting the name plaque, which again has been massively polarized when we go into that. If you want a link to the Facebook group, it's in the description down below. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. Helps the channel massively. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. You can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. We'll be back very, very soon with more. Until then, take care.